you had a lot on your calendar.
Hmm.
Um, how has COVID like affected that? Like your
Well, now I'm just stuck in my house where I was supposed to be in like Chicago, Arizona, Omaha, Texas. I was supposed to do South by Southwest, just so many things, and I was supposed to be on planes and cars and all these things, and now I'm stuck at home. And but I've been able to do like a couple of things, like I filmed that video for She Shreds and doing the live on my front porch and figuring out ways of making my house work for myself, or work for still doing what I do in in a way without an audience, you know?
yeah. I mean, how did the the pandemic like affect you as far as like because I know that this was a big for you like and it
Hmm.
still can obviously still be but like there
Hmm.
was so much you had so much packed in the like 3 months that have passed
Yeah, yeah.
emotionally for you like to see a lot of that just start to like go away.
I feel like I processed things so late. To me, it was just like, oh, that's happening. What do I do to like keep going, you know? But I do spend like maybe one day a week where I feel like I'm getting sick, but I think it's in my own head. Because I'll be fine after that. Like, I'll be fine after that one day, but I need to spend, I guess I just need one day to be watching TV and binging things and really not doing anything. Um, so it's also been affecting like, oh, I'm not doing anything, so I'm worthless and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
trying not to think like that.
I mean it's hard. I feel like as people who are creative it's been a really hard time to like not have those thoughts and like
Hmm.
or whatever and allowing yourself that time to like binge watch stuff or read. I've been reading a lot, um,
Hmm.
and obviously everyone's cooking a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I mean, also like the LA girl. What's up with that?
I know. Well, it was already supposed to happen before anything got canceled.
Right.
So that was, I had like Dorothy from the LA Times had already hit us up and was supposed to go to one of the performances that got canceled last minute. I was supposed to perform at that Soho warehouse, and she
Uh-huh.
was supposed to go see the show, take photos of me, and interview me there. And then when everything went down, it was maybe like a week or two where we didn't communicate, but then she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna see if I could still like make this happen." And she was like, "Oh yeah, my editor still wants it to happen." And this photographer is going to go take photos of you with like staying away from you and in a mask and all this stuff. Um, and I didn't have to go anywhere. He just took photos of me in front of my house.
Yeah.
And she interviewed me over the phone. Yeah, y estaba. And then after it was out online, she was like, "Oh, we're gonna see if there's enough room for it in print." And then I was like, "Well, there must have been enough room because it was like the whole front page of that calendar."
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so exciting to see. I mean, all the work that you've done over the past couple years. I mean, and it seemed like,
Mhm.
then like the advocate, which I know that piece
That had been happening forever.
ever, and then like part of the Women of the Year, and it's just like,
Yeah, that was crazy. Everyone's like, "What? How did they choose you?" And I was like, "Well, I was already on there, but then they
yeah.
just like lagged me."
I mean, yeah, I remember getting the emails being like, "Oh, we're gonna push this," and it was like, "Okay, well, sure," Then it's like,
Hmm. It's crazy how things happen and how they end up happening at the same time.
yeah, yeah. So what have you been watching?
Um, I've been so my friend Javi gave me his password to HBO now. So I've been watching Insecure or trying to catch up on Insecure, and I just finished the third season.
Oh,
And I
fun.
saw that La Doña's track is on like the last episode of the fourth season. So I'm like, I need to hurry up and binge this. um, Another show that I really liked was Tiny Fires Everywhere. That's
Oh,
on Hulu.
yeah,
Hmm.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
So good.
And then Priska's been watching Money Heist, which is that like it's so action packed and I hate gun things, but I get stuck watching it too. So
Yeah, I haven't
we've
watched. I want to watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
mhm.
I've been trying to like limit my TV watching to like only the but sometimes I get stuck. I just watched
Yeah.
Cider on HBO, which is like a Stephen King thing.
Oh,
But
I need to get on my HBO stuff.
yes. So what have you been
Mhm.
cooking?
Well, we usually make a full breakfast, and the best thing we make for breakfast is chilaquiles. Um, but usually do like a scramble or things like that. I've been making like chiles rellenos for dinner, or Priska likes to make fish tacos or ceviche. Um, so we've been throwing down. We always throw down though.
Right.
Hmm.
What are you like looking forward to post COVID or whatever the world will look like in the next couple months?
I really like the thing, although I miss the performances and I miss the traveling and all that stuff, the thing I miss the most is like the rehearsals
Uh-huh.
and just hanging out and I mean sometimes rehearsals are very like tiring and they just take so much out of you, but it feels really nice when you finally get something and it finally sounds to where you want it, and that's the thing that I miss the most is like doing this with other people.
Like working on new material with your vocal.
Yeah, exactly. And
Speaking of your,
imagine,
I ran into
huh,
Lou the other day.
ew.
No. I was like, um, I know that there's like a lot of talk about like closures of live spaces and bars and things like that. And I know the Stud's physical location is closing.
Oh, that's true.
They're hoping to reopen in the future and stuff. Like,
Hmm.
what are your like feelings about that? Like these spaces that are like being, really sort of erased.
Yeah. It's sad. It's like the end of an era, and also it makes me think because my the way I deal with things is always thinking ahead
Hmm.
and imagining what the spaces would be like without that. And it's like all those underground spaces we used to perform in that also were closed down are going to have to come back in some way, like performing at house parties or backyards or things like that, are going to be very important. Um,
Speaking of backyards, can we talk about when Brad Pitt was watching you in a backyard?
oh my God. And he was like, woo, such a bro.
I
Scraggly ass man. Oh, sorry, that's my pit.
was reacting to the Brad Pitt
I
conversation.
know she is.
That
Uh,
weird night. Can we talk about like weird nights for you? Like what have been some of the weirdest shows or
uh, well, that one was weird because I didn't get to see anybody until the performance, and I was like locked away. And then all of a sudden, I had to hurry up because Brad Pitt was outside and was supposed to leave,
oh,
and he
Priska
and
thought
he.
Damon.
Oh no, Lou thought it was Matt Damon.
I just remember being like, "That's not Matt Damon. That's Brad
Uh-huh. And then my dress started ripping down the middle.
Pitt."
That was that was insane. What else has been a weird show? I guess Sacramento was weird because there was three bands, and this is like a legit venue where like so many bands performed there and all this stuff. And they had three of us bands in one backstage area, one green room, and with no bathroom. So I had to get my ass ready in the public bathroom with like a full wig and everything and makeup, and I had like my whole suitcase there. Um, and I guess like I hadn't been used to that life because I'm more like, oh, we're gonna perform at the Getty and things like that, and
You forgot what it was like to get ready in a public bathroom at a
in a
college
public bathroom, yeah.
when I have to watch the door,
Exactly.
or when it's like to get. I always remember zipping you up at that photo shoot where like I took a breath for you.
You sucked it in.
Well, speaking of, so I think like there was like no public announcement of our breakup. Um,
Hmm.
I had like feel or thoughts about it, but I feel like to clear the air, there's like we both just decided that we're both doing things, and I'm crazy busy and
Hmm.
need more attention, and
In different directions.
I totally
What is it called when people get divorced and they settle for
am,
no.
yes, I don't know the I know the word, I can't pronounce it. It's one of those.
Yeah,
But yeah,
differences or something.
it's really funny because people are like, "Ooh, I don't see sunshine."
Actually, it's terrible and there's a lot of drama.
I mean, it was like, I mean, we worked together for, I guess, officially like 2 years, algo así.
Hmm.
Um, and like now, it's time to next level it, and
Hmm.
I am trying to next level my own shit. So
Exactly. Exactly.
we
Your
had to,
scum live.
yes, so we had to just like do our own shit, and but I mean, honestly, working with you, I mean, I would say that like
Mhm.
it took a lot of pressure from you to for me to agree to work to be a manager. I mean, I had never done it, and
Mhm.
I do think that we both learned so much from that experience.
Yeah,
Because we worked really hard that first year. You
we
know,
did. And we
and
had
in the
never, either of us, been in like a music industry setting. Like,
right, and to have meetings with like people about money and things, and it was just like wow, and like things coming your way. I mean, oh, let's talk about the Mac campaign.
oh yeah, that Mac campaign. That was a weird show.
Sending you off the night of the last day of the recording of your album on a red eye to New York.
Yes. And then they picked me up in a Mercedes with one of those like signs that said my name. Like that's never happened to me in my life.
I was so,
Um,
because if people don't know, like traveling with you is like traveling with a child because you have to make sure Sancha has her ID, Sancha has her passport or whatever for has her, like
and we just left after that recording. We were like, we had our mezcal because it was our last recording day. I had just finished singing like the last song of the album and then had to just book it. I couldn't even be the last one leaving the studio. I had to leave before everyone.
how was
And
New York, right?
yeah, well, it was filmed in New Jersey
Uh,
and they basically didn't let me take a shower. And I was like, I feel gross coming out of recording, coming out of this airplane, and y'all won't even let me take a shower. and they just took me straight to the set, hair and makeup, and um, they told me to take my wigs. And you know me and putting things away nicely, like I don't put anything away nicely. And the guy who was doing my hair was such a bitch, like an old white man. And somehow I get along with the grumpiest white people on set sometimes. Like I, I still I get their humor, but this guy pulled my wig out, and he was like, they were forcing him to work with my wig, and he goes, "This thing is a cat." And he had three assistants, and he had all three of them brush out the hair while it was on my head. So I had like four hands on me.
I mean, well, let's talk about your like glam, like upping up your glam over the last like year and a half. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I've been there with like four people in a room with you that's the size of,
Mm-hmm.
or like,
Yeah.
um, working with different makeup artists or friends, and like, what has that been like? The trajectory of like, I know that like Olima has a lot to do with it, like your relationship
Mm-hmm.
as the dress, and then his idea of like your hair and makeup and stuff.
Exactly. His vision of what my fantasy is, you know?
Right.
Um, well, he pretty much, when we started work a little bit before we started working with Red Bull, had decided like, no, I'm gonna take over your whole visual thing, and I'm gonna help you out as much as I can. Like he really committed, because before he would help me out every now and then, and for like things that he considered bigger and stuff like that.
Like giving you
But
leftover dresses.
now we talk like three times a day about ideas, or about what's next, about what we wish would happen, and what we're gonna try and make happen. And of course, we're like always looking at our friends that we already know, um, like Shablam, Anthony, Ernesto, Tony, um, Anna, like
Yeah.
Irene. There's so many people that we can um, call up when we have something important,
That
and a budget.
that I feel like you're very like conscious of like who you're working with, and it's always like people that you and people that have kind of supported you on the journey,
Mm-hmm.
and like or collaborated with. There's a lot of like Giselle, like the cover
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that came about because you worked with them on an image that is so iconic now, the
Mm-hmm.
dress image.
It's been all over the place now.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
exciting.
so we're gonna open it up for some questions. So if people have questions, they should submit them now. But what are your like kind of immediate future plans?
Um, well, that June 13th live show that will be um, covering Tio Los Panchos and AD Gourmet, we're going to be, well, I still need to record Sabor a Mi, which should be released soon. And I guess it would still be kind of a secret. And um, and a couple performances coming up. One for the San Jose Museum of Art.
Okay.
Um, and what else do I have? And then We Rise. I'll be doing their celebration. Um, and what else do I have coming up? And anything else that I think of. Because
Uh,
I'm full of ideas.
does anyone have any questions? This is the time to submit your questions. I
There's
don't.
a delay.
I mean, oh, here. How was your experience being part of the Vida episode?
The Vida episode, oh my God, that was like a, what, 10, 12 hour shoot. Um, and my part was what, like third, maybe a minute?
Yeah.
a minute or two. Um, the really the funnest part for me was recording the music for that. That
Yeah.
was really fun and fast. And then the glam too was very similar to that Max shoot where there's a lot of assistance and stuff like that, and a lot of asking me beforehand about the look, um, and also a grumpy white lady who I also somehow got along with.
I mean, of this Esperada that was recorded for Vida, I feel
Hmm.
such a shame that they never released it
Yeah.
because they own the rights or whatever. But
Hmm.
it's such a great version. You started doing that version live, which was also really
Hmm.
like fun. Speaking of, Chris from Pelada is asking, finding playing live online.
How do I like it playing live online?
Yeah, like what are your experiences like?
Surprisingly, I get just as nervous as when I would before I would go on stage, and I freak out and I get grumpy and I'm mad that everything's not in its place. And um I am a little more awkward than being on stage, but it gives me that same like adrenaline rush, which is kind of the reason that we do this a lot of the times is like that rush just like fulfills us for a moment. Um, the the weird part is not hearing the reaction or feeling it from people. Um, but I like it, and I like being able to control the space and and the stage. And right now, I've been like I got myself a PA system so that we could be a little more professional, and that's been exciting for me.
Um, Brown Clown, hey, is asking, what's a Selena song you haven't covered yet but want to?
Um, que creías que te iba a olvidar. I guess I don't know the words, but that's the one I would do.
Next question is, are you wanting to do more film? I'm not sure if you have, but it seems like your style could go into longer narrative format.
Well, yes, the telenovela is supposed to be a uh, feature film. That was the plan before all this like happened and put everything on hold. And I've been working with a director and a producer, but now we're trying to figure out how to move forward now that everything has stopped. But that is definitely something we've been thinking about and working on.
Is there any like opportunities that came your way that you feel like were missed opportunities?
Um, from like missed opportunities because of
No, no, just in general, because I know like this film question. I mean, I have a inside knowledge from the past couple of years, but like I just mean like a thing
mhm.
that for some reason or another you weren't able to do that you wish you could have or look forward to doing it.
Well, we were supposed to do it, and we're supposed to reenact the whole thing live, and um, I don't think it's a missed opportunity because it's gonna come up again,
Yeah.
and I know it's gonna come up again, um, and maybe in a different format than I was thinking. But I really want to perform that live again, and I really want to make the film happen. And I'm in a way thankful that like the album didn't get all this like press that I wanted it to get, like a big bang,
Hmm.
like I had imagined in my head. But now, like the Pitchfork came article came out a
Right.
couple months later, and then the them article, and then LA Times and The Advocate. So it's like and it's all happening now.
Folks
And
are catching.
it's, yeah, they're catching on, and maybe it's slow because I really like this film is going to take a couple of years to make when we do start even getting into pre-production.
Chucha's asking, do you have a dream collab or a dream venue to play
Bellas Artes.
at? Yeah,
Uh-huh. I want to be like one guy, like twirling around on a huge mariachi, a norteño band, a full choir.
I see it happening.
Uh-huh.
Anyone you want to collaborate with?
Um, so many people. Let's see. Immediately, and from people that I know, I would like to collaborate with like Ila Bamba, La Doña, um, Fabi from Savila, Reina Tropical. Um, there's this artist called named Ile, who I'm getting really obsessed with right now, that I would like to collaborate with, and maybe like Natalia Lafourcade or something.
Yes, that would be.
Hmm.
Have you listened to the latest album? So good.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right. Well, this is kind of nearing the end. So
Hmm.
I guess if you all missed it, Sancha has an announcement about a performance coming up 13th. An eye
Hmm.
for that. Um, this is
Yes.
with we're here every Tuesday and Saturday. Check more info. We have Luis from Pansy Division coming up. We have Martin Sandegi coming up. Julio Salgado, Joey Arias, Vander Von Odd. Lots of folks.
Yes. How exciting.
Um, thank you for watching and thank you for doing this.
Yay. Thank you for having me.
First thing.
Yes. Adios, putas.
Bye. Have a good
Bye.
bye.
Mwah.